All right, in this video, we're going to talk about the urgent behind the scenes meeting that's happening today regarding the 800 generals that came upon Quantico for this giant military operation that is transpiring right now before our eyes. And I want to share a document here that is out on this and, have some fun with it as well. So, to this entertainment purposes only, my name is Gavin Mehl, but we are going to freaking show you some things and kind of like connect a few dots as well. And share personal testimony and also some very close inside connections that I have to some information I think that'll be relevant here. So, all right, so there's a document that came out. It's totally unconfirmed. I've been unable to confirm it, but it came out from Sheila Holm. It does look like it did come from her. I saw it on the Michael Jaco show that she had yesterday. Now, here's what it says: Declaration of authority and summons by the authority vested in the President of the United States of America as Commander in Chief under Article 2 of the Constitution and by the immutable laws of the common law sovereignty. It's hereby declared: one, lawful command under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Every flag officer of the United States Armed Forces by oath and under law is bound to obey lawful orders of Commander-in-Chief. The UCMJ affirms that generals and admirals remain subject to such orders, including the command and assemble. Now, sovereign right under the common law. From ancient precedent to modern practice, the head of sovereign republic or kingdom holds the prerogative to summon his military leaders for counsel, recognition of authority, and the reordering of the nation's defense. The right is both inherent and incontestable. Summons to assemble, therefore, by order of His Excellency of the Western Kingdom and President of the United States for America, all flag officers are hereby summoned to Virginia on September 30th. This assembly shall formally recognize and reaffirm allegiance to the constitutional republic of the United States of America. So that's a couple just comments here, big ones. One is, again, this is unconfirmed, this actual document, but if you think for a moment that the stuff that we saw from the White House today and the speech that he gave, the rah there, with Hegstead, and we didn't see any of the generals. We didn't see anything behind the scenes at all. If you think that was all that was going on, welcome to central casting. All right, so we know that that's not all that's going on. There's stuff that's going on behind the scenes. And is this document real? I don't know. If you want my opinion, no, I don't think it's real. I think it's a fake document because of the way it's. If you look at the lettering on here, these right here, the white lines, it looks like a fake document. So it's just my opinion. But the concepts of this, all right, there are relevance because the concepts here, one is the excellency of the Western Kingdom. What that tells me is it references the Articles of Confederation. And in the Articles of Confederation, it talks about how the Canada, one thing people don't. Yeah, so here's the text. This is the document that came after there was basically the Constitution prior to the Constitution coming out. So it's still part of the original organic documents, the Declaration of Independence. Actually, before the Declaration of Independence was the Articles of Association. So there's the Articles of Confederation. There's the Articles of Association, the Declaration of Independence, and then the Articles of Confederation. And so in this, it talks about how welcoming Canada into the Union. Article 6, Canada ascending to this confederation and joining in the measure of the United States shall be admitted into and entitled to the advantages of this union. But no other colony shall be admitted into the same unless such admission be agreed by minimum of 9 states. So Canada has an open-ended. Canada shall be admitted into by entitled to all the advantages of this union. This 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 shall be admitted into. They're in and entitled to all advantages in. All right, so they're already entitled to all the advantages and shall be admitted into the union. I mean, that's how I read this. It doesn't say they can do it later or it will be or is. It's like an open-ended letter. It's already done. Whether or not Canada's accepted, I guess is the question, but maybe Canada hasn't accepted. But that's why this is irrelevant of the Western Kingdom. Now, some of the conspiracy stuff, like about how he's walking there in front of the Prince Charles, like 6 feet away from him, and I mean, if you think about it, the King of England, if you go back in time, that guy's got a lot of power. And all these delegates underneath him in England and the UK all report under that power, under that person. And now when he's out there, it looks like the president of the United States is definitely taking the power away from that. Now, what's really relevant here is this. Upon this recognition, all military outposts and operations abroad that were established under British Commonwealth or foreign dominion shall be lawfully closed or transferred, securing America's independence in full. I mean, put some context onto that. All right, so let me just finish this. All right, no, this order is issued in fulfillment of the president's sacred duty to uphold the Constitution, protect the people, and preserve the sovereignty of the Republic. All officers are bound by oath, honor, to obey law and obey. Now, a couple things that are really all right, so that are relevant here is that the post about the British, all these officers being out there established under British Commonwealth or foreign dominion shall be lawfully closed or transferred, securing America's independence. Well, we've never had all these generals ordered into one place before. So we can argue all day long about the authority of how it happened, whether it was just Hegsteth that did it, or whether it was this document as well that did it. But we definitely know the commander-in-chief had the authority to bring all these generals together. And there's two sides to the coin. You got the private side and the public side. It's always been that way. In the public side, we see what we see. The private side, we don't see. I have a private counsel that has been with me for a long time, since the very beginning. It's the very first. Anyways, he's a private attorney that I have been working with for a long time, and he is a guy who I would love to have him, get him out in the public, but he isn't. He's not a public facing guy. But I've worked really close with him for a long time, and he's a man of God. And he definitely, he told me yesterday on the phone, and we talk almost every day or every other day. He told me yesterday on the phone that he did, and he's had a lot of communications with the White House over the years in letters and correspondence, but he said that the White House reached out to him. I don't know if it was on Friday, Saturday, or I mean, in the last few days. And, just wanted to thank him for what he was doing. And I think it's, he said that his work had been cited. They'd been citing some of his documents and his letters. He had been cited through the White House. And a lot of this stuff is going to be about the Republic. So I do think that there's the other side of the coin, the private side, is starting to be exposed a little bit now. Now, the reference to the British Commonwealth and the British, these things that were set up under British, I guess under, what are they called? British control, he said. British Commonwealth or foreign dominion. The 14th Amendment right there itself, I mean, that right there itself, it completely, by passing the 14th Amendment, I think under military force, the 14th Amendment was passed. Okay. It definitely created another layer upon our government, and, created a whole different jurisdiction. So we operate, when we go into the courtroom, we just kind of assume that we just got to abide all these statutory laws. But I mean, I'm telling you, it's a whole different level. And anyways, my point is that this document here, it looks like it's fake, but I think a lot of the concepts are real and really are happening. This restore of the republic, and going back to the original founding documents, I think it's happening. And since all these generals were all being brought in together at one time like this, never happened before. Raising Dan Kaine had given a talk. Dan Kaine was the guy that was part of the original 9/11. He was in the air as a pilot flying in 9/11 when the Pentagon was, they say the Pentagon was hit. I mean, he was a part of that. And then his testimony was sealed or destroyed. He's never been able to talk about what really happened. At least people don't really know what his testimony is, but he was on the inside of all that, so about 9/11. Now here he is, coming out and running this operation in Iran. And he's a big part of it. I mean, this is just an amazing time. I cannot tell you how an amazing time it is to be alive. I've just really pinched myself to be a part of it, and not only be a part of it, like to see it happen, but have enough knowledge and insight. So hopefully I could share some value on that. This 800 generals coming together, and the declaration of authority and summons under President Trump. It really, definitely do some research on this. Sheila Holm was the one that posted that. Michael Jaco. There's no way to verify that, no matter how much you try. I've already looked. Okay. So I guess I want to hope that it's real. So a little hopium for it. I'll tell you though, even if it's not, we are in a freaking amazing time right now. While this military operation that is definitely happening, we do know the military operation is happening. We could see that through all the laws and orders and the original powers being expanded by the Dwight D. Eisenhower. So with that being happening, and that being said, it's a beautiful time to be alive at the ones. Do some research on this. Check it out. My name is Gavin. I'll see you at the top.